and welcome to another one of my themed gaming videos. The theme being that somebody crashed into my car the other day, so the theme is kind of crashing cars. And originally I was going to play Destruction Derby 2, and then I saw Gran Turismo 2 and I thought, I'll play that instead. I believe Destruction Derby 2 is buried behind the stack of games that this was in the cupboard, and the reason for playing this game shall become apparent very soon. We're going to go beginner. So yeah, originally I was looking in the city driver class, which has such awesome motors, sarcasm, as a Tigra 1.6i, 206 GTI, Mini Cooper 1.3i, Suzuki Alto Works, I think that's a Suzuki Swift, the Golf GTI, a fucking 1.8 Citroen Zara, I mean seriously, who cares? And a Daihatsu Move and a Mercury Cougar and a MGF fucking fanny mobile. Yes, and then we move up to Class B and we have the Alfa Romeo 156, the Audi TT, and then we get to the car in question that I kind of stuck this game on for. It's the BMW 328i, the Loon, and yeah, my car was actually a BMW 330i Coupe, 330ci, until some twat crashed into it. So yeah, this is kind of basically the precursor to my car before it was facelifted. So we're going to pick a... Is that black? Is that the black? I'm going to pick it. It looks black to me, but with these kind of PlayStation graphics, it's hard to work out. And we have either racing or drift because we're on the arcade disc of Gran Turismo. Tahiti Road looks a bit miserable. It looks like we've only got 3 different tracks we can pick from. We're going to go midfield raceway. I'm not really sure, to be honest, what the point of arcade mode is on Gran Turismo 2. I did play a lot of the original Gran Turismo, sorry, which came on 1 disc. But I played a little bit of Gran Turismo 2, but it was basically using cheats and just going and buying the what was the Pikes Peak Suzuki Vitara things, it like the Escudo or something. Yeah, basically my experience of playing this game when it was originally out was just buying the fastest car in the game, and that was pretty much it. So straight away we have a absolutely miserable crash, mainly because this is in drift mode and we're in a rear wheel drive car, which is currently liking to go around corners sideways. And I tell you what I'm going to do, I'm going to actually turn on analog mode. Reason being, it's not enabled by default on these games. Continue, even though I'm not going to anywhere near win this goddamn race, so we're just going to cruise around playing a bit of Gran Turismo 2. Look at these blocky graphics. They are actually some of the worst on the PlayStation, but for some reason, I mean, looking back, they're some of the worst, but at the time they were great. And the shiny cars, I think it was just the shiny cars. I remember the original Gran Turismo had these kind of smoke effects for the tyres that looked really awesome, but they had to kind of take it out of the final game, because basically every time you came to a corner and there was a bit of tyre smoke, the game like was turned into like a slow motion replay, but you know you're actually playing the game in real time. And if you don't know, they're not real bloody reflections on the cars. They are just random, well, not random animations, but generic animations. Not proper lighting effects. So yeah, you can probably see why somebody crashed into me if we're going to go by my driving skills on Gran Turismo 2. After all, this is the real driving simulator. I should say my luck has actually improved because I bought 2 £1 scratch cards earlier and I won £1 back. Yay! That sounds like a fail, but I've not actually won on a scratch card in God knows how long. It's insane. I never used to have that bad a luck with them. I think that's the problem. I think I had it too good for too long and now I just fell on scratch cards. It's funny the tyre squealing effects on Gran Turismo. I don't know where the hell they got them from. They just sound bizarre. They sound like a HGV, like a lorry with a trailer on going around a corner too fast or some shit, not you know, a car. There seems to be a lot of rebound damping, or should I say a lack of rebound damping on the suspension on this car, for saying it's a road car. The back end is bouncing around like hell. Yeah, I think really what we have to take from Gran Turismo 2 having a drift mode and a race mode is basically, if you're going to put them in a game nowadays when the novelty of everything drift is far worn off, you would call them traction control on and traction control off. I think that's basically kind of key difference. This essentially drift mode for me, in my opinion, is more of a kind of simulation mode. And there we go, bottom of the pile. And forget your tag here, we're going to have Seiko as the official timing sponsor. No expense spent. Welcome to Gran Turismo 2. And we could save replays back in these days. I must say that I am actually obvious. Well, I'm gonna say, but this is really obvious thinking about it. I'm playing this game on the PS3, as you will have seen the PS3 menu pop up earlier. So I'm gonna go single player again, road race again, easy again, class B again. Select. Oops. Can't have the wrong colour bloody car, can we? Automatic transmission. We're going to go racing this time. I'm going to go Tahiti Road and actually try and win a race. I believe the 0 to 60 time on this particular model of car is something like 7.1 seconds, 193, something like 193, 95 horsepower, I don't know, whereas mine's like 200, between 233 and 235, depending on what kind of source you're looking at. So yeah, this is actually a slower model that we're driving here. If we were in the full-on Gran Turismo 2 simulation disc, or career disc, I can't remember what to call it. I could look behind me at the box, but then I'd have to pause the game and probably lose the race. But yeah, if we were in that mode, I could easily just bang an air excuse me, bang an air filter and exhaust on, and maybe a ECU, tune, whatever we call it, and be up to the right spec, the right figure horsepower wise. But yeah, for now we can pretend it's a 330 Ci, even though it's got 2 more doors than the coupe, and yeah, we can crash and stuff. Hey, get out of my lane! Oh, bang! Oh no, that guy's fucked my car up. One thing, although the graphics seem very blocky in this game, the frame rate does feel kind of smooth. To be honest, I do remember when I first played Gran Turismo 2 thinking, hold on, this car's got more of everything, but the graphics, I do actually kind of remember the graphics looking like they took a bit of a hit. I don't know whether it was just that the graphics hadn't took a hit, they were just exactly the same as the first game, but yeah, I don't remember being overly impressed by the graphics, but the amount of cars in this game was overwhelming. It probably, I mean, I don't know what car game holds, well, console, let's narrow it down a bit, you know, holds the title for having the most cars in a racing game, but Gran Turismo 2's got to be up there. It just had a fucking silly amount of cars. We're not doing amazingly in this race, are we really? As we do a bit of off-roading. Yeah, I mean, as you can see, it's a lot more arcadey now in the race handling mode. We're not going sideways and losing grip and all that shit. Just sends you to a replay by default every time. Let's actually watch the replay. Actually looks like a screenshot before the car's moving, which is kind of weird. Usually when you play a PlayStation game, the textures are always moving because of the warping, so I don't know how they manage that. Kind of horrendous music going on in the background. Yeah, this is basically very similar to my drive to work every day. Yeah, slamming into people, getting sideways. Yeah, off-roading it. And again, the car looks like it's got no rebound damping in the rear. So anyway, we shall exit the replay. It is kind of, does look kind of nice watching the replays nowadays, to be honest. The cars do look like they are handling like real cars. Pardon me, that's the beer coming out. I've got to have beer on a Saturday night. Yeah, ooh, very much repeating on me. So we're going to exit that shit. And you know what? Let's go off topic with a bit of rallying. See what we've got. Focus rally car, 264 plus GTR. Familiar? What the fuck is one? That is definitely not familiar. Never heard of it. Opel Tigra fucking rally car. Get the fuck out of here. So I think we are going to go with it. The Lancia Delta. It's the only one that's kind of a legendary rally car. How long is this video so far? It's about coming up to 15 minutes. Rally time. Here we go. There's 3 viewpoints in this game. Oops, it's turned. Yeah, what's interesting about the rally mode in on the arcade mode in Gran Turismo 2 is it's like rally because it's timed, but then it's a course, it's a circuit, it's a loop, which is rallycross, but this isn't rallycross. There's no other cars on the track, so I don't know why that is. Maybe I mean, there's no amazing sort of mud effects or anything, I'd say. So I can't really see that it struggles with the mud and deformation effects, because there isn't really any deformation, and even if there was, let's face it, you won't really be able to make it out anyway with these grainy old textures. So yeah, a bit odd there. It's almost like Japanese people trying to simulate a kind of mainly Western sport that they know nothing about, motorsport. I'm not saying that the Japanese don't. I mean, there's a Japanese rally stage, but yeah, interesting. Getting mega sideways. So drift mode must feel mental on the rally stages, because this is pretty loose. I've spoken too soon there as we jump back onto the tarmac. Put a bit of handbrake up there. And now we have a ghost. So we are battling ourselves. We are at war with one's inner soul. And we cruise around a corner. Bit of a tap of the handbrake to help it get loose around there. And another one. Not hitting the barriers so far. A little bit of a hump into the corner, but not getting airborne. God, I wish this horse feeling in my throat would fuck off. It's been like that for about 2 weeks now. I had a bad cold for about 5 days, but I've still got hoarseness, and it's just annoying. Even the beer's not getting rid of it. Turning the jump. Do that again. That. So yeah, I'd say this is a lot better of a lap than the first lap, but we could do some hairpins and shit in this track. Oh, sketchy! Fucking like Ken Block round that motherfucker. And am I the only one that's ever noticed that sometimes Ken Block actually hits walls unintentionally in his video, but tries to disguise it in the editing and by having lots of tyre smoke coming from his rear wheels, or all four wheels really, four-wheel drive, WRC cars in general. Oh, there we go. So it's basically going around and doing laps, trying to beat your best time in rally arcade rally mode. Can't really remember how rally integrates into the career, whether you have racers against other drivers actually on the track at the same time. The problem is that if I went to jump into the career mode on a video, it's so tedious. You've got the licenses. I think you can you do one of the cups without a license? I can't remember 100%. Yeah, it's really tedious. You've got the licenses, then you've only got a limited amount of money for the car, so the car's fucking awful, crawling around the track. So that was why I slammed the arcade disc in and instantly gratified myself with a BMW 328i. I think the 328i basically has the same engine block as my car, but it's not been bored out quite as much. So the block on mine is essentially the same as a 325i as well, I believe. A bigger capacity, 3 litres instead of 2.5. don't know whether the 328 actually is the 2.8 or it is a 3 litre. And yeah, it's just an endless cycle of trying to get the best lap time, which is kind of a wasted opportunity really, I think. Let's watch a bit of the rally. I don't know whether there's cars that you can unlock in arcade mode. I'd assume so. I'm not sure whether you can use your career cars as well or some shit. Import them. But it's kind of not what you buy the game for anyway. But the arcade disc does have its uses, especially in the modern day when you just want to jump into the game and experience it and do a video on it. Obviously I jumped in and do a topical video on having somebody crash into my car. But yeah, it's an excellent game, and like I say, it's got a fucking shit ton of cars in it. It's just like most cars between a certain time period, you can find them in here. I mean, you got like, I had a Fiat Cinquecento Sport in, it's got that in. I had a Ford Cat, it's got a Cat in. I'd say it's got the BMW in, so is that? Yeah. Pretty much every car that I've owned have had a similar model. I won't say the same, obviously the 328 would be the same. And the Cat was an older Duratec version of the Duratec. So yeah, it does have a silly amount of cars, from the mundane to the absolutely outrageous. And it is a classic game, but the graphics haven't aged well, but it still does handle very well. It still plays great, even if it is more, just even in kind of the more simulation modes, it does feel very arcadey by today's standards. So thanks for watching, and yeah, thumbs up for crashing cars and shit. Yeah.